last we left off, I don't remember too much, but we gotta speak to Maxima here. Maxima and Commander Aldine. Oh yeah, the Imperial troops were, you know, all the hullabaloo in the Empire and everything. Imperial troops are backing off a little bit. Commander Aldine awaits us in the Royal Palace if you would follow me, and then Raban requested us to, yeah, here. Oh, look, it's Gaius. We've been so busy talking to you that I didn't realize Gaius was here. What up, my dude?
They're here, Commander.
Yes, we're here, Commander. Oh yeah, last we left off, we also talked to Justinian. I remember that.
And I, for one, am grateful that they are. Told you've been busy since our paths last crossed at the Gimlet Dark.
It's good to see Raban again. And Maxima, but Raban, how you been?
Mayhap things would seem clearer were I to hear the tale from your own lips. But I'm afraid the situation will not afford us that luxury.
It's gonna sound crazy if I tell you what I've been through.
I trust you two require no introduction.
Yes. Yes. Lord Gaius.
We meet again, hero of Eorzea.
Bruce Bolton.
Must we repeat this ridiculous display? I pose no threat to you, though what I come to warn you of very well might.
You want to go to Disneyland, Gaius? Or have this idea? Yeah, I think that's a plan, but I guess that answers our question, or at least my question of, did Gaius survive escaping the Empire? Because remember, we got to control Justinian for a little bit, and Gaius went on his own little path.
As you are doubtless aware, Sir Justinian and I cooperated to rid the world of Black Rose in your absence.
Maybe that's an Ashian. Yo, that's true. Well, I guess one of the questions I had, because I know the Ashian clique, aside the named characters, because Elidibus is like, you know, head honcho now, or maybe he always was, but he, you know, he's like the main focal point now. There's still other Ashians part of that group, right? Because we've seen them, right? And there was I'm pretty sure there were more than, you know, the named characters that we knew. And then the fact that they can, you know, take on these bodies, you know, it does open the doors to the possibility of everyone being an Ashian, right?
Our journey together took us as far as the Imperial Palace, where we witnessed Emperor Varus meet his death at Xenos' hand.
Oh yeah, I wish I saw that fight. Maybe it was a quick just Rurouni Kenshin.
When we were later reunited, Justinian claimed to have encountered an unfamiliar kind of machina during his flight. But to me, his description seemed anything but. And upon further investigation, I found that I was right. The Empire is developing a new Ultima weapon. This is like the new Star Wars trilogy. Oh, I wonder what the New Order's up to. Well, they got a Death Star again, but it's an improved Death Star. It's a planet killer because it's an actual planet. But regarding there being lots of Ashians, I mean, remember what Emmett saw after you combined with Ardbirds? Yeah, there was a lot of masks and stuff, but I feel like I thought that was more akin to, like, metaphorically, like, kind of showing the death of his people, because I could have sworn there was like 100, I'm throwing a big number out there, but like 50 masks, right? Way more than 14. I don't remember. No, homie, when he said a trick of the light, nothing more. Yeah, and then but we had the visage of like those tall Amarodian peoples. I thought we were a part of that group. I've been assuming since, you know, the dude was like, oh yeah, you and Emmett Selk, you used to know each other, you were friends, blah blah blah, and then we're doing this Heidel thing. I think we're a part of that original 14 at some point. Whatever who we are as the Warrior of Light, passed down through physical form through the ages. Like, I feel like ultimately we were part of that group and we split off to do the Heidelin things. It's alright, guys, we going to Disneyland, baby. The weapon itself, excavated from beneath this very city, was destroyed ere we could fully unravel its secrets. And that should have been the end of it. But unlikely as it sounds, the Empire's efforts to recreate it have somehow borne fruit. Primarily through secret research conducted by the 7th Imperial Legion, it would seem.
Again, I'm just thinking, like, it's just another Death Star. Another Death Star to contend with. Trial series in this expansion is one of the best standalone side quest stories they've ever done. Oh, and when are we supposed to do this one? Because we're doing the Omega, not the Omega, the Eden ones now. And then you said we should do the Omega one at some point. But then now we're talking about Ultima. Hopefully one of the creators If Ultima left a nice little exhaust port, the poop hole on Ultima, so we could shoot a proton torpedo in.
But the fact remains that you and you alone have faced the Ultima weapon and emerged victorious. We need you.
This sounds important enough that it would just be part of the main quest. Like, hey, this is part of your main quest. You gotta defeat the next Ultima weapon, instead of being a side quest that in the realm of time here that, you know, theoretically the Warrior of Light will never do, and it's just, you know, the Ultima weapon is just chilling. I like Gaius.
I will do what I must to see this mistake consigned to history once and for all. Even if it means begging your aid. The Fates will enjoy the irony, even as I endure the ignominy.
Much more personable. Atoning while he's atoning, without the armor, without the mask. See his face, hear his voice. Oh, Beck Luck.
What news from the source?
Let me tell you, they're building another goddamn Death Star, man.
Thanks in large part to Urianger and Becklug's invaluable insight, we have succeeded in fashioning a vessel for the journey.
Okay. Nice.
We set out to create a crystalline container retaining the more useful properties of white aurosite, but without its regrettable limitations. And after a good deal of trial and error, we made one. An
Seems
ark for
simple
soul
enough.
and mind both that will allow your incorporeal self in its entirety to be ferried between worlds. A spirit vessel, if you will.
Yeah,
However,
let's do it. However,
Though the vessel is possessed of the requisite qualities to hold mind and memory, it wanteth yet for a means to receive of them. For that, we must needs imbue it with the Exarch's innate gift.
no. How do we do that?
A gift that lives on only through the blood of the Allegan Emperors, which certainly does not flow within aurosite or any other crystal.
Exarch has to make a aurosite baby. Is that what you're telling me?
Just so, milady. The blood serveth as a conduit of sorts. In its absence, memory cannot pass from mind unto mind, nor from flesh unto crystal.
That being the case, we must either alter the process of inheritance so as to require no such thing, or determine a means by which my blood may permeate the vessel. I am hopeful that the records found within this tower will yield the knowledge we require to pursue one or the other of these avenues.
We just take his blood and inject it into the vessel. Boom, problem solved. So theoretically, if this works, the Scions could also travel between both worlds. I guess it really depends on the process of getting into the stone and getting out of it, but no, because then when they get back to the source, their souls and their physical bodies will then be reunited. So someone would have to basically kick them out of their bodies again, right? In order to come back here. Theoretically, they could be brought back and forth. Theoretically, right? It would just take a lot more effort. One of my favorite scenes in Shadowbringers was when we were fighting against the horde of Sin Eaters that Vothri brought here to this land. And how, you know, the guards were just fighting so hard. They were dying. There was carnage, but they were dying. But they kept fighting strong, man, most of them. And they rallied. The name's Thaler. I'm sure you don't remember, but we met once before in the infirmary. I kind of remember you. I asked you to deliver a message to the... Oh, yeah, I remember him now. And the Warrior of Darkness. Little did I know I was already talking to him. Yeah, I was the Warrior of Darkness. Don't give up. Don't give in. I keep those words close to my heart. And the boundless, beautiful skies above serve as a reminder of their importance. Your heroism has inspired all of our guardsmen in much the same manner. Our scouts at the northern staging point have not had the pleasure of meeting you in person. I was just thinking, you know... Crystarium guards versus like Umorian soldiers. Who's stronger? It's got to be the guards, right? Because Umorian soldiers, they really didn't have to do a lot. They were living in this like perfect world because since them and the Sin Eaters were all peachy. But these guys were like always fighting, right? You'd like to think maybe that, you know, would give them an edge if they were to fight. Remember that show, like The Greatest Warrior or whatever?
Did you slay this eater? Your orders were to await the main force before engaging.
Because these guys are G's.
No, Captain. It wasn't us, I swear it. A man came out of nowhere and cut it down before we knew what was happening.
Okay. This guy sounds like the Urianger voice actor.
By himself. Certainly it is no light warden, but nevertheless.
Okay, who could this be? I'm drawing blanks here. They said it was a man, came out of nowhere, did a little stabby.
It's true. Felled it with a single swing of his axe, he did. I've never seen anything like it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's gonna be the light Ardbert, who's maybe technically not evil, but for us, our standpoint, he's kind of evil because he's doing Ashian things.
So I says to him, who are you, the warrior of bleeding darkness?
He says, no, I'm the warrior of
says,
bleeding
no.
light.
I'm a warrior of light.
Yeah.
That was it. Buggered off as quick as he came.
It was Gaius. Gaius don't use no axe.
A warrior of light? Why would someone go around calling himself that, though? It was those bastards who caused the flood. I mean, if you were going to pretend to be anyone, it'd be him, the warrior of darkness.
Hey, brother.
Hey? Oh, I didn't know. It's an honor.
Would you like me to sign your axe? Oh, it's appearing. That's a pretty little scene there.
Since the Eater is no longer a threat, our work here is done. Return to your posts.
All right. Yeah, let's explore this thread. I wanna meet the Ardbert, the warrior of light
Your
Ardbert.
side today. But I'll continue to follow your example, and may we meet again.
Well, hopefully we don't have to meet again. Because if we meet again, it probably means that something bad's gonna happen.
As for this warrior of light, I do not know who would be brazen enough to take that mantle for his own. Whatever it may once have meant, it is forever tainted by the association with the flood.
We got a vigilante on our hands, don't we? Spider-Man.
The Exarch told me the truth of Ardbert and his comrades' deeds, and I am aware they played some part in your own triumph. But to most, they are synonymous with the calamity that befell this world.
Yeah.
Still, if this man is minded to destroy Sin Eaters, I may forgive him his unfortunate choice of alias. But that is neither here nor there. I thank you for accompanying me.
Why would a warrior of light destroy a Sin Eater? I guess technically we're still warrior of light. We destroyed Sin Eaters.
Forgive me. There is one more thing.
Well, you want my signature?
A personal concern of mine. I had hoped you might have a moment to speak privately.
Oh, okay. What's up?
Take your time. I shall go on ahead.
Are we introducing love interests into the game now? Lena is out of your league, bud. Hey, I'm not your bud, pal. Okay? Guy?
I will not mince words. This matter concerns the Exarch. Though his countenance belies his age, his demeanor never has. He has seen more than any man should and grown ever more weary with time. But I see I give the wrong impression. While it is true he attempted to open a letter with a salmon fillet the other evening, we are not here because I suspect his mind is deteriorating.
Go on.
Nor do I believe him to be so maddeningly unconcerned by the prospect of his own death as he once was. Indeed, the opposite is true.
Oh.
It is for this reason that I seek your advice.
Oh.
Since he returned from the Tempest, the Exarch is not as he was.
Oh.
He seems a different man. A younger man.
Oh. Oh.
I know not the details of his research, but when I saw him at work recently, there was a glint in his eye that I had never seen before. He looked happy.
Oh.
It was as if he had peered into the future and for the first time found joy there.
Oh. She's his adopted daughter. Oh, really? Is that a thing that I forgot?
Though it gladdens me to see him thus, I wonder if I should not keep my distance. I fear that my presence will only anchor him to the past. Remind him of all the pain that came before.
He's lost without you, you know, and he misses you already.
Are you sure?
100%.
Then perhaps we might remain as we were. As we have always been. What a relief.
Okay, all Gucci. Everything's all Gucci now.
In that case, I will have to speak with him about the amount of time he is spending at work. This research is important, I know, but if he refuses to consider his own health, I will have to consider it for him.
Is she in this world? Again, I forget the names, but the bunny peoples, the guardians of the forest and shit, is she like of that lineage too? Because she's also a bunny people. I don't know, you know, how far spread bunny people are in this world. Do they all come from the forest people, from the first empire or whatever? Guardians. These, technically she should be, but Vera lore is very undefined. Oh. Okay. Just curious about how, you know, how things were here on first. Well, I'm super excited. I just like, this is always, it's always so like relieving. You know, like in movies where you know, like, you know, the good character or the main character is good, but the people, you know, the characters in the movie, the rest of the populace, they never know until there's like that one reveal, and it's just like a nice release of like, ah, now they know the truth.
Yes, this looks to be nearly everyone. Let us begin, shall we?
Who's gonna give the speech? Exarch? I vote the
Though I am
Exarch.
usually the first to hold forth at such events, I think on this occasion that honor should fall to you.
Oh. Shit, it's gonna be me. Catharsis! Yes, it's catharsis. Alright. Hear ye, hear ye!
They would
People
be
of
more
the
inclined to
Crystarium.
take the word of the warrior of darkness.
Listen to me! I must
Indeed.
speak with you.
In light of the subject matter, who better than thee to speak these truths?
Alright, listen up, bros. So there is these guys, right? Called Warriors of Darkness, right? We're the Warriors of Darkness, they're the Warriors of Light. You think they caused the flood, and they kind of caused the flood? But they also, like, you know, tried to help at the same time. The only reason they caused the flood was because of some evil, nefarious schemes. But oh, that's a good picture. I should have taken a screenshot. Look at how charismatic this guy is. Doesn't he have to say anything? I feel like he just explained everything super quick. I feel like this would take like an hour to explain. Oh, there's our boy. Should have worn your clown costume to give this talk, to be honest. I do have the costume.
The Warriors of Light did all that?
Wicked White. Yeah, man. Those are my friends.
So they never... I mean, they only ever wanted to help. And when everything they'd done turned to ash, they still carried on.
Yeah. Son, I hope their force ghosts are looking down on us.
They gave everything to stop the flood. First their lives, then their souls.
Oh, I feel the catharsis.
Too. In the end, they saved us. And we cursed their names.
The sweet release of truth. Are we gonna see young Ardbert, Warrior of Light Ardbert? Are we gonna see... Where's he at? Where's he at? Where's he at? Where's he at? Oh! 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 Oh, look, he's looking all smug and everything right now. Is this like Ashian Ardbert? Ashian in disguise Ardbert? As I was saying...
I definitely see something. You don't think it's a ghost, do you?
Is this like an Ashian Ardbert?
Nay, yonder standeth no bloodless apparition, but a warrior of light and darkness both. Ardbert.
What in the world?
Oh, he's gonna do something shady, isn't he?
It's you! The one who slew the Eater!
The Eater! You slew the Eater!
That it should be the warrior of darkness who brought the truth to light. You've saved me a fair bit of time, though I have a few words of my own to say. if I may.
All right. What's gonna happen? What's the angle here?
People of the Crystarium, I am Ardbert, one of those you know as a warrior of light.
Should have worn the clown costume because you got played.
That's impossible. You should be dead.
Aye, that I should. But as the world has been given new life, so too have I.
The real Ardbert wouldn't be like, people of blah blah blah. It is I, Ardbert. He wouldn't be like that.
I know
Or would
not
he?
why I, and I alone, have been gifted this chance. But I do know this. Only by the will of the star itself could such a miracle come to pass. The hero who stands before you now, the warrior of darkness, is not of this world. And the day will come when he must return to his home.
Will of the Star, eh?
But this land is our home. And if it is to remain so, now and forevermore, it is we who must protect it. It is you who must rise. You who must become the new warriors of light.
What? Us? Warriors of Light?
No, that guy's got a funky mask.
None of us were born heroes, my friend. I was only ever a man with a thirst for adventure. But wherever my journeys took me, I was invariably confronted with the same choice. To lend what aid I could to those in need, or not. And I always chose the former. Any one of you could do the same. All you need is the will to help your fellow man, and the resolve to see it through.
I mean, this is a very nice speech here, but I'm very wary of him, given all we know that has transpired so far. Especially all the behind-the-scenes stuff that the characters don't know, but the players know. I don't know why I did the John Cena thing.
From thine own lips did we learn of Ardbert's fate, and by thy countenance I gather thou art not inclined to recant thy testimony.
Yeah, we absorbed Ardbert, and then the Ashian did his villain speech, and then thus came this Ardbert, right? So we can only presume this is like Ashian Ardbert.
Yet whosoever this man may be, his words hold truth and resonate with the citizenry besides. For us to voice our doubts here and now would serve but to sow disquiet. 'Twere better we retired unto the ocular and there discuss this matter in private.
It's gonna become some like political game. We have to fight for the belief of the peoples. He's gonna turn them against us.
Go. I will stay here and watch.
Anyone that talks about the Will of the Stars definitely sniffing Zodiark's ass. Yeah, and then Elidibus was even like, yeah, who better to fight the Warrior of Darkness than the Warrior of Lights? And then we cut to Ardbert, like, oh.
As far as I was able to discern, that was indeed Ardbert. It has been a long time, but not that long. Could he truly have been resurrected as he claims?
Elidibussin, yeah, I mean, is it as simple as... Actually, I have some other questions, but is it as simple as, all right, now I'm gonna come back here to the first and sow the seeds of light again to just kind of redo everything? It's like, there's like 7 or 8 other worlds. How come it has to be the first? What's going on the other worlds? Why didn't he go to one of those worlds where none of us are and sow his seeds of chaos there for a different sort of rejoining? Unless because he's like, oh, this is like, you know, we made some good progress here. Like, we're not starting from scratch again. It looks like him and sounds like him, but it isn't him. Okay, so 1 source, 13 reflections, 7 down.
Ardbert did entrust his very soul unto thee. I see no reason to question thy judgment.
Okay, so how come, unless it's just like, you know, we made some progress on the first, so might as well continue it. But I mean, why can't they just go to one of the other 6 that haven't, you know, rejoined yet, and just, because we're not there. Unless there's some, you know, parallel warriors of some sort that he'd be like, well, I don't want to contend with them. I don't know. Just throwing ideas out there.
To my eyes, your ether burns as brightly as the day you slew Emmett Selk. That is proof that he is with you still.
Yet that which standeth now before the people is far more than a passing imitation. I am reminded of the cardinal virtues, though a sin-eater he is not. Which leaveth but one plausible explanation.
That he is an Ascian.
Oh, blueberry. Oh wait, that's not the blueberry yum yum.
From what I understand, the Warriors of Light were laid to rest in Yulmore by those whom they had aided in life. At the time, some few still remembered them as heroes. Needless to say, 4 of them were subsequently exhumed to serve as the virtues. And if one knew where to look, Ardbert too would not have been difficult to find.
Assuming then that this is indeed the work of an Ascian, my mind inevitably turns to the last remaining paragon to survive the Sundering.
Elidibus. What is he, the speaker? Something like that?
That Xenos hath reclaimed his own flesh is known.
Oh, emissary. So 14, there were 14 total in the convocation, and only a hand, like you said, there were less unsundered, so only a handful of them were not split. Emmett Selk and Elidibus were unsundered. Were they those were like the only, because La Habrea an unsundered? I forget which one they claimed it. I think he was on their same level as them, right? Yeah, he was. Okay, Emmett Selk, Elidibus, and La Habrea. Yes, alright, let's continue on here.
Thus evicted from his borrowed form, and cognizant no doubt of Emmett Selk's failure here in the first.
Yeah, technically we're now less sundered. I wonder how many, I mean, you would assume we got split into 14, right? So is Endwalker gonna be like, we combine with the rest of our beings to become the ultimate, like, Heidelin force against Zodiark or something? That'd be interesting.
It's quite possible the emissary chose Ardbert for his next vessel.
I don't think that's the case, to be honest. That we're split into 14. I mean, I guess technically, right? Because we you know, kind of breaking the fourth wall, how we talked about, oh yeah, like, you know, only warriors of light can, you know, teleport, and then us being able to see, like, the boss like actions on the ground and everything. That's like our echo. I guess were we sundered into all the different player characters? Is that gonna weave into some like meta fourth wall thing at the end of Endwalker? Like, yeah, it was you and all the other player characters, all the warriors of light. It was sundered into that many or something. That'd be kind of interesting. I don't know. That's kind of meta.
Indeed, when
anyway,
Elidibus intruded upon the waking sands, his presence did go unmarked by all save Minfilia and the Warrior of Light.
Yep. I remember this. Oh yeah, and he put in hella work here in the Waking Sands. Remember who was our green pixie friend? Not pixie, but you know, the forest friend who got kicked into the wall. I remember that scene.
On that occasion, I myself remained ignorant of his coming until after his departure.
The Sylphs. Yeah, the Sylphs. There it is. Yeah, the Sylphs.
It was only at a later juncture, when he deigned to appear before me in borrowed flesh, that I was finally able to take the measure of him. In such puppetry do the Ascians engage when they seek to influence the course of history.
I'm just... what if, like, I'm just imagining like Lolorito was an Ascian or something. Oh my god.
And they have gained much by it. Emmett Selk single-handedly built the Garlean Empire in this manner, while La Habrea came close to conquering Eorzea, having taken possession of Thancred's living body.
Ah, yes. I remember the Thancred thing. Man, that was a long-ass time ago.
Yet it must needs be noted that the Ascians cannot avail themselves of all mortal vessels. For were they able to do so, none would serve as a better pawn than our own redoubtable champion.
Yeah, Ardbert would be a great choice here. I don't know if they can take over Lalafels. That's an interesting question. Why? Is there something within the lore of the Lalafels that makes them immune to, like, corruption in that in that sense, or are they just two? They're just two imperfect beings or something. Elidibus is the next logical step to the next big Ashian Zodiac revelation thing. Moon, Ashians on the moon and shit. So,
is it not peculiar then that Albert's mortal remains should be susceptible, given that he was once a warrior of light? Or did the final departure of his soul make it possible, perhaps?
I like the idea that once his soul went bye-bye and came into us, and that made his body susceptible to it. Lalafels don't have souls. I don't know if there's anywhere for Ashians to squeeze in. Oh, that's what you meant. I thought you were about to drop some like Lalafell lore, like, you know, like think about like dwarves. I'm pretty sure they're like a little more resistant. Like dwarves and no. Yeah, or like no, elves. No, dwarves. The dwarves in Lord of the Rings were a little more resistant to like the Dark Ring's powers, right? It just made them greedy instead of like pure evil, because they're like stubborn, right? But it's just because you hate Lalafels.
Regardless, to hear an Ascian use him to call forth new warriors of light boggles the mind.
Oh, this is this is some good shit. I'm really liking this right here. I get really excited over stuff like this.
Been an enigma, his ostensible purpose being to preserve the balance between light and dark.
See, this is where I get caught up sometimes, right? Because you think like they're in the minute. The Ashians' purpose here on the first wasn't to preserve the balance between light and dark, unless that's just Elidibus's thing, because they're trying to get the light to overcome. This is why he's back on the first. Was that Elidibus's like? Was that always his like motif? Like he was the balance guy? Because if he was, then why was he okay? Like again, in the minute. On the first itself, light overcame, but maybe in the grand scheme of things, that balanced things out. Because that's what I was thinking at first, like the whole balance thing, but ultimately they want the rejoining to happen, right? Yeah, the infrastructure for light versus dark is already in place here. So that's why I was wondering, like, you know, if this is his motif, is he here to like, he's here to champion the light, but potentially not push the light to overtake the dark now that we have this sort of balance? Elidibus was engaged on the source while Emmett Tuck was doing his thing over here. Yeah, that's true, but I thought the whole time that he was just like in the loop, like, oh yeah, Emmett Tuck is doing the thing over there. This is all part of the grand plan for the rejoining, because that's what all the Ashians want. Was he? I don't know. That's what I was assuming. But I remember in previous expansions, I was talking about the balance of light and dark, because I feel like I got that. I don't remember the specific, but I feel like I got that vibe from an Ashian somewhere, right? He brought the Warriors of Darkness to the source. He brought the Warriors of Darkness to the source, and the Warriors of Darkness were on the source because they thought that doing their thing on the source would save their world, because that would balance things out, or was that just... or maybe for other reasons. But they were there because they thought whatever they were doing there on the source was going to save their world here on the first. The actual reasoning of how doing what they did on the source would save the first is kind of eluding me right now. Unless it was just something Elidibus said, like, hey, if you do this, it'll save the world, without any other, like, reasoning.
When he made overtures towards me, however, I was afforded a glimpse behind the mask of the self-appointed emissary.
Elidibus would seem to very much have his own mission and designs, it seems. Emmett Silk and La Habrea had their own ideas as to how to meet their goal. So that's what I'm trying to get at. Is La Habrea's ultimate end goal, is that still like a rejoining to bring back his world, or is that just completely different? While Elidibus is all about that balance, if he's all about that balance, at the same time there's been multiple calamities, hence multiple rejoinings. So that's all been going down, and all the while he's just like, oh yeah, that's cool, like do your thing. Unless he's just only concerned with light and dark, because the other calamities didn't concern light or dark. It was like fire and ice and all that other shit.
I shall not defend mine actions, undertaken in pursuit of a better understanding of our foe, as either wise or prudent. Nevertheless, what little I did glean may now prove useful. Elidibus possesseth a subtle mind, practiced in the art of manipulation. That he coaxed this star's most valiant heroes as far as the source with naught save half-truths is no trifling feat.
Okay, we're getting some answers here. Yeah, it's been so long since we've had to do anything with La Habrea. I kind of forgot about him. Well, not forgot, but I forgot like the whole everything that involved him.
I believe he doth employ his skills once more to some as yet unknown end. Though naught is certain, should my suspicions prove true, we shall have need of all our wits if we are to uncover and thereafter thwart his plot.
I feel like we just spent like 15 minutes on this one dialogue here.
And I would hesitate to do anything which might tarnish Ardbert's reputation once more, nor yours by association. That being the case, it may be wise to keep a covert eye on this Ardbert's movements, as we attempt to discern his purpose and how best to mitigate his influence.
I want to go speak to ELIDIBUSSIN right now, or, you know, Ardbert. Just told everyone how great the Warriors of Light were, and now an Ashian shows up cosplaying them. Not ideal. Yeah. Yeah, it's quite the pickle. Because now people are gonna be like, oh yeah, Ardbert, man, whatever he says is golden. Okay, that was some shite right there.